Well, that's right, Christine. So if upheld, things will essentially stay the same. But if overturned, cities could punish people for sleeping outside in public, even when there are no shelter options.
This is the most consequential decision relating to homelessness in my lifetime.
The small city of Grants Pass, Oregon, could shape the way cities in Washington and around the country handle homelessness. The Supreme Court, siding with Grants Pass, would allow cities to ban camping and fine and jail homeless without providing a shelter space.
Those cities who take that approach, it could result in a mass migration of unhoused people from locations where their existence is prohibited to other locations across the Ninth Circuit where it's not.
Seattle University law professor Sarah Rankin says it could mean more policing approaches and reduce investments in homeless services.
It'll make people less likely to emerge from homelessness.
But some government leaders, like Seattle City Attorney Ann Davison, supported the Supreme Court hearing the case, arguing court decisions have paralyzed communities' ability to address homelessness. Mayor Bruce Harrell's office told us the court's decision doesn't change the city's approach, which leads with offering shelter and services, ensuring people come indoors at the same time as we keep spaces clean and accessible for everyone.
I'm Mayor Kevin Schillingham calling the regular meeting of the Burien City Council.
Meanwhile, this year, the city of Burien has tightened its camping ordinance, adding buffer zones to stop people from sleeping within 500 feet of schools, libraries, and child care centers. These restrictions are not being enforced because the King County Sheriff's Office is waiting for a federal judge to decide its legality.
Cities will be emboldened to do those things, but they will be met with the sort of arrows that lawyers still have in their quiver.
And Rankin says that is because even if federal protections disappear, there are still state laws that could protect how far cities can take a camping ban. I asked the city of Burien how the Supreme Court decision would impact their approach to encampments, and they declined to comment for now. So we know the city of Seattle says it will keep the same approach to homelessness. Let's bring in Jake Wittenberg, though. How has that been going for them?
Yeah, Drew, no one expects the city of Seattle streets to be cleaned in a weekend. The fentanyl crisis is worse than ever. Seattle's homeless state of emergency is still in effect. So a lot of work to do, but there's some encouraging news from the city of Seattle's Unified Care Team. This new report suggests that there's a 20% increase in the number of shelter referrals in Seattle since this time last year. When it comes to tents on city streets, a nuisance in a lot of neighborhoods, there's a report of a 24% decrease in the number of tents. That translates to real numbers, too. 763 tents were counted in Seattle last year at this time. This morning, there are 345, according to the Unified Care Team. What about those nuisance RVs parked in Seattle neighborhoods? There are a lot of them, 426 last year, but the city tells me now they're down to 179. Finally, what about public safety? The city tells me when it comes to encampments within the homeless population, there is a 41% decrease in shots fired incidents in homeless encampments in Seattle. All of this is encouraging news, but again, few people disagree. There needs to be a lot more to make Seattle city streets feel as safe as they can be. Christine.